This next exercise is a really simple but effective self-counselling or self-coaching tool. And I really like it because you can use it across the board in any situation. It really, really helps at work, and it also really helps in your personal life. And the part that it really helps with is anything that is bringing up a negative emotion or feeling or thought for you. And the whole purpose of this self-counselling or self-coaching strategy or technique is to bring the power back to yourself rather than getting frustrated and letting other people's behaviour control how we feel or dictate our behaviours. So I'm going to use myself as an example and take you through each of the steps so you guys can become really familiar with how to use it yourself and incorporate it. And I promise you it's really easy once you start doing it, and also really insightful as well, which is great. So the situation that I'm going to use today is a client of mine in my professional job, not the counselling client, just to be clear. And what really frustrates me is that she never replies to my emails. So if I'm asking her about catching up for a meeting, I don't get a response. If I send her a follow-up email, I don't get a response. If I send her through a recommendation for something, I still don't get a response. And so that's the first part of the exercise. So what is the situation? That's my situation. And then the second question is, how do I feel? And so in response to that, the way that I feel in regards to that situation is really frustrated. So I get incredibly angry and annoyed that she won't respond to me. The next half of this strategy, or the next part, is really important, because what we're going to do now is we're going to deepen the process just a little bit more. So the next question is, what is it that's really going on for me? So when I ask myself that question, what is it that's really going on for me here? If I'm really honest with myself, I'm really annoyed because she's not behaving in a way that I think people should behave. So it's my value of being polite, of thinking that my view of being polite is that you respond to all emails, you always get back to people when they ask you a question, but clearly we don't share the same values. And so if I'm being really honest, I'm frustrated because she's not behaving in a way that I think she should. So that's really annoying me. And unfortunately, it's also out of my control. So a way of bringing it back into control for myself is to then say, well, what is it that you really need in this moment? So what is it that I need? And if I ask myself that question, what is it that I really need? The answer is actually just simply to not care so much and to let it go, because in the scheme of things, it's not really a big deal. And I know that I've done my part. I can tell myself I've done a good enough job that I don't need to get an email response from her to say, yes, received it, looks great. And that really, it shifts a lot more room in order for me just to get on with my day and to not dwell on something that doesn't have to be such a big deal. What it also means professionally is that we can move forward in a relatively still, amiable working relationship. Whereas if I don't deal with my problem in the way that I just did by self-counselling myself, my feelings of frustration and anger are going to build and build and build, and all that's going to happen is I'm going to be feeling worse and worse and worse with no particular outlet or solution which is going to make me feel better. So I've dealt with the whole experience by myself, and I don't really need her to be involved. So that was just a very small example of a way in which you can use it. So to recap, there are 4 main parts. The first one is identifying the situation, so what's actually happened. Identify how you're feeling, what is it that you're feeling. The next part, which takes it to that deeper level, what's really going on for you. And this is the part that I really encourage you to be really, really honest with yourself. Really ask yourself, what's really going on for me? And then the last part is, what is it that I need? And so what is it that I need in order for me to move on? And just by going through those 4 simple steps, it allows you to have a happier working life or professional life, and it also teaches you how to look after yourself and be able to self-counsel yourself. So that is the self-counselling strategy that I wanted to share with you today.